What's going on? I just realized my camera was not in the right place. There we go. Okay. Hello, my name is Megan. I am the CEO and founder of Valkyrie Fitness and Nutrition, and what I'm going to be diving into today is navigating your nutrition while working those 12 to 48 hour shifts. So, if you don't know who I am, I help women first responders, frontline professionals, healthcare workers, honestly, like really achieve their fitness goals, no matter what their crazy hectic schedule looks like. So, a topic I'm going to be going over today is how do we even navigate nutrition? This is the biggest common issue that I hear from not only just clients, but like, people I talk to in Messenger. This is a big problem with, there's a couple things. You can see a couple topics here, right? How to prepare for it, like how to navigate around your coworkers, how to manage cravings during overnight shifts. There are a million different topics I could touch on this, but I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet today so we can kind of walk away with either an aha moment or something that you can easily implement into your next shift. Okay, so first and foremost, how do we prepare for our shifts? Now, this is going to vary person to person. Now, I'm going to try to talk as vague as possible because you guys all have different lives. You have different shifts. You have different busy. Some of your stations are busier than others. So we'll kind of put it in the midline. Like if you're at a station that's kind of busy, but not, where you're bound to back and forth. So again, too, I work with, like I said, different types of professions. So if you're a firefighter, your life is going to look a lot different than someone in law enforcement, who's going to look a lot different than a ER nurse in a trauma one hospital. You see what I mean? So how do we prepare? How do we prepare for a profession that doesn't really give us the opportunity to have a routine? So what I used to always do is, first and foremost, I always keep something around me with me, whether it was in my locker, whether it was in my go bag, whether it was in my book bag when I was in the military, or one of my side pouches and in my on my uniform. So I always kept something with me, and like I always try to aim for something that was high in protein. Always keep that with me, and I always try to keep like some sort of fruit with me as well, because worst case scenario, right? You can't make it back to the station. You can't. Obviously, nurses, you guys can't eat at the nurse station. Firefighters, EMTs, you guys might be bouncing from one call to the next, so you don't get a chance to go back to the station. Keep something with you, right? Now, make sure it's high in protein. I mean, my opinion on what's a good idea to have or keep on you would be like, I would keep scoops of protein powder with me, and then I would just keep like an empty shaker bottle in my go bag, and then I would always have water with me. So, what worst case scenario? Just add water, add protein, drink that. Protein bars now varies time of year, right? Sometimes if you keep protein bars on you in the summer, they're gonna melt. So you just have to be mindful of that as well, right? Some stuff you can't keep in the vehicle because it's going to melt. So protein powder is always your best scenario, but something you can always keep on you. Another big one would be, I know some people hate this, but I used to keep a lot of tuna packets with me because they were easy and they don't really need to be refrigerated, and you can keep them on you. Especially when I was in the military and we would be out in the field, I would buy like tuna packets, keep those bad boys on me. Not the best, not everyone's favorite thing to eat, but it's something rather than nothing. Because here's what happens: if you don't keep something with you, and you go from call to call to call, or patient to patient to patient, or fire to fire to fire, or medical emergency, whatever have you, what happens is you end up getting to that point of no return, and then you're starving. So keep something with you, something small, an apple. You can keep bananas with you, just don't squish them. Nuts, almonds. There's a million different small snacks you can keep with you to help you manage and curb that hunger issue. PB&Js, man, I lived on PB&Js when I was in the military. I would pre-pack those, because how hard is it to make a PB&J and just throw it in your bag? It doesn't go bad. You know what I mean? So there's a big stigma behind like what's healthy and what's not. I'd rather see you guys eat PB&Js on the go than stop at Burger King and slam a Whopper and then have like GI issues later, and then you have to chase after somebody and you want to throw up. So that would be my first topic, like how to prepare. Keep something with you at all times. Like I was literally, I felt like the snack queen because in every crevice of something, I had some sort of snack. So no matter what, no matter where I turned, there was some sort of snack in a pocket somewhere. So I knew, and like even people that I worked with knew, hey, Megan's always gonna have something with her. All right, let's dive into topic 2. How to not navigate around your coworkers. So, this is the biggest finger pointer I've ever heard of in my life. Clients, people I've worked with, they always say, well, my coworkers get offended if I don't eat what they're eating. Here's the thing. We are all big girls, right? We're big girls and we can tell people no. It's going to be okay. You need to stop being a people pleaser. Like, that's going to be my biggest one. Stop people pleasing. Here's the thing, right? These people that you work with, yes, they're your family. I get it. I've been there. But at the same time, they're not the ones living in your body. You're the one that lives with yourself every single day. So how do you navigate around coworkers who eat foods or, always eat like, I mean, I get it. I worked with guys. They would order pizza a lot. When they did cook, it was just like bacon and smoked and all that other stuff. People wonder why a lot of these professions are basically a sprint towards either diabetes or having heart issues or high cholesterol, blood pressure. It's because of the foods that they eat. So, how you navigate around this is stop people pleasing. One, I know it's going to be really hard, and the first time you tell people no, they're gonna be like, what do you mean? They're gonna give you a hard time, which is totally normal. This is a common response because do you know why? So, food in culture, food in America, food just around in every single thing, it's given a lot more. It's kind of like created to be something that celebrates something or brings people together. If you think of food at any point in time, like holidays, right? We have Thanksgiving, around Christmas, birthdays, people get together, you celebrate. Food is always involved, especially for people who come with cultural backgrounds, right? Like if you're Hispanic, if you're um, Italian, a lot of times their families use food to show love. So your coworkers are doing the same thing. We use food for so many reasons. So we have to stop people pleasing in one sense, and you have to also, it's kind of like talking to your family. Like if you're trying to start something new, don't make it like a huge deal because like if you do fall off a little bit, they'll give you a hard time. Just be like, hey, like, listen, I really appreciate you cooking. I love that, but right now I'm trying to just be a little bit more mindful of my food choices. Nothing against like what you made or whatever, but I want to make sure that I am, head in the right direction nutritionally. For instance, I had this one young guy on my squad. Now he was brand new. So when you're brand new, they don't want you to do your own thing. They want you to do what they tell you to and eat what they tell you to. And I never seen someone stand their ground like that. I was really impressed. I was impressed. The older guys weren't. I was like, good for you, not falling victim to them making you eat what you don't want to eat. And he was in great shape, this kid. So, and he still is. And he was like, yeah, well, I want to eat so I feel good. I don't want to eat that garbage. I don't want to feel like shit the rest of my shift. And I was like, more power to you. Sometimes what you have to do, like they gave him shit for a while. They always kind of like poke fun at him, like when it came to the food time, lunch, dinner, breakfast, whatever. But at the end of the day, you're the one that lives with yourself every single day, right? The people that you work with aren't coming home with you. They're not going to the doctors with you when your doctor tells you, hey, you have high blood pressure and you're, borderline diabetic. They're not the ones that has to wake up in the morning and, put your shoes on and stuff like that. So when it comes to food and things like, you have to explain to them that I have to start making different choices. I brought my food. Thank you so much. Like I really, and just show your appreciation, your gratitude. I appreciate you making the family style meal. I did bring my food in. I'm just trying to make some slight changes. If I feel like a little hungry later, I'll grab a plate and just tell them that. Like, yeah, if I feel a little hungry later, I'll grab a little bit what you brought. Same thing. People bring in a lot of stuff in these jobs. People bring in donuts, cookies, oh, my grandmother made us, this because she wants to thank us for, our job. Hey, like, have a small amount. I always tell my clients, you don't need to say no 100%. Just take a small amount, and then that be it. So instead of binging or eating all of it, or like I kind of mentioned before, when you're preparing, like when you're starving, what's going to happen? You're going to go for these foods. So coming in a little bit prepared is going to help. Now, how do we manage cravings during like nights or overtime shifts, things like that? Um, that's going to come down to uh, one, eating enough leading into your shift. So, like I kind of mentioned, preparing a little bit more, but also having higher protein throughout your shift as well. Because what happens is, and I've worked nights, that 3 a.m. hits, what happens? You want to go over to the gas station and grab candy or junk food. What I used to try to do was like time my meals out as best I could, right? Just depending on the shift. So, time it out on nights. That's the biggest takeaway when it comes to like managing cravings. And then also too, create meals for yourself that don't feel like diet food. For instance, like I give my clients like burger bowls, taco bowls, like PB&Js. I just made a chicken fried rice recipe that I found on TikTok that I eat and make all the time. Like create meals like that are considered like would be considered like late night foods, but make them better. Like a high protein chicken fried rice, teriyaki chicken, stuff like that. That when you eat it, it doesn't make you feel like you're eating diet food. Burger bowls, I eat those all the time. Like a hamburger, it literally tastes like that, but just bowl style. So I'm not eating like a huge bun and all that other stuff, or getting it from the nearest fast food station. So create meals that don't feel like diets, because what that's going to do is it's going to alleviate that craving. Another thing too is I always keep on me like Coke Zero. I get the little tiny ones, like small little sodas. Stuff like that is going to curb the sugar cravings. It's going to give you that sweet treat without like you throwing away your diet, like your caloric deficit. If that's what you need to be in. So using Coke Zeros, creating meals that don't feel like diet food, that's going to help. I also have like a buffalo chicken mac and cheese recipe that's super high in protein. So creating and eating foods like this and having them prepped and ready for that time of the night, and then also timing it out when you hit those cravings, is going to help you tremendously to not only lose weight if that's your main goal, but make better choices in the process, so that way you're not spending a bunch of money on junk food every shift you go to, because that's a big thing. And I saw this a lot when I worked in law enforcement. Is I had guys, right, that would spend easily $20 to $30 a shift, right? So let's say you work 4 shifts a week minimum. Let's do some math right now. Pull up my calculator. So let's say on the high end, I spend $30 a shift, which is not uncommon, especially now with the way even fast food's expensive, times 4. So now I'm spending $120 a week. Now let's times that by, times 4 again, 120. So we're spending close to like $400 sometimes a month on fast food by spending $20 to $30 a shift. That's on the high end. So I want you to be very aware of that, because this is another thing people get really caught up in, is it's expensive to eat healthy. No, it's not. It really isn't. I'll do another training on this, because that absolutely drives me insane when people tell me that and they're like, "Oh, I'm strapped. Like I'm just getting stuff that's quick and easy." I literally teach people how to eat rotisserie chicken, which is like $6 to $8. You know what I mean? I teach people how to eat and create meals in bulk that you can do at work. That's low cost. Like it cracks me up, because I'm like, actually eating healthy is so much cheaper. I go out to dinner. You go out to dinner, you get drinks. You could spend easily $100 to $200 for 2 people right now. You know what I mean? Like we go out. We went out to this chicken place. It was a fried chicken place the other day. We met up with one of my wife's friends, and for 2 of us, it cost us like $85, and it wasn't that like even expensive. So this is what I mean. Like 2 people going out one day a week, it's $80. So it's way cheaper. I can spend $200 and make meals for almost like a week and a half, 2 weeks. So it's really not that expensive. You just know how to do it. But that would be my main topics today, right? How to prepare, how to navigate around your coworkers, how to manage cravings during overnight shifts. So maybe just some simple things. Maybe there was an aha moment somewhere here. Hopefully there was. If you're someone that, you're tired of struggling, you're tired of wanting to get results, and you are frustrated, you've been trying it on your own for years. Maybe you've lost some weight and you plateaued and you're working in one of these jobs and you just don't know what your next steps are. You can either click a link below this video and book a consultation with me, right? No pressure. Or you can text me at 878-666-922-9222. It's my business number. Just text the word coach to learn more. Actually, what I'm going to do is just like get a background about you, because I don't know who you are, or what's going on, or where you're trying to get to. Like, everyone has different goals too. So just text me the word coach. That way I'll know, you're curious about how we can help you out. And yeah, hopefully this is kind of giving you some next steps, some ways to structure your day. Planning helps a ton. The more you plan, the less of a chance you have to fail. So again, any questions, want to learn how we can help you as a woman first responder, frontline professional, military, or healthcare worker, text the word coach, or if there is a link below this video, click on that and we'll get you set up to schedule a consultation with myself or one of my team members.